there, it's Mrs. Ferris from Wood Library, and guess what? We're ready for Storytime Online. And today's theme? Frogs and toads. So let's get started. Our first story is really what prompted me to be choosing this as a theme, because I've been hearing a lot of noise around my house. We have a little bit of a pond near us, and something's been making a lot of peeping noises. So we're going to have a story called Possum and Peeper, and this is written and illustrated by Ann Hunter. This is Possum. This isn't Peeper, but we'll see Peeper later. This is published by Houghton, Mifflin and Company. Beep, beep, beep. Possum opened one small eye. What was that noise? He buried his head deeper in his warm winter nest. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, I'll never get back to sleep with all this racket, he said. I'm going to find out who's being so inconsiderate so early in the spring. Possum stepped out into the cool green morning. Beep, beep, beep. Possum looked up. A pair of catbirds were building their nest high in a tree among the new leaves. Is that you peeping up there? Demanded Possum. Not us, said the catbirds. We can scarcely hear ourselves sing with all that clamor. Clamor means a lot of noise. Well, I'm going to see for myself who's making such an awful din. Well, we'll come too, said the catbirds. We can search high in the trees while you look low on the ground. So they set off through the woods. Possum stopped to sniff the trout lilies blooming along the path. Beep, beep, beep. They followed the noise up a hill. At the crest of the hill stood a bear, blinking blearily outside his cave. Who woke me from my warm winter sleep? He snarled, showing his long white teeth. Was it you? He said, spying Possum. No, said Possum, but we are on our way to find out who it was. Well, I better come along then, growled the bear. You may need someone of my size when you find this fellow. So they continued over the hill, the catbirds flying overhead, the bear grumbling along behind. The spring sun shone down warm on their feathers and fur. Beep, beep, beep. The sound was getting louder and louder. They came down to a marsh where they saw a muskrat spring cleaning his house. Can you see him? Excuse us, shouted Possum. Have you been peeping? What? Yelled the muskrat. I can't hear you over all that noise. Well, we're on our way to put a stop to it once and for all, said the bear, if you show us the way through the swamp. So they pressed on, following the muskrat, peering between the new green shoots and into the dark pools, closer and closer, louder and louder. Possum pushed aside some reeds. Aha! They cried, squinting down at a small spot on the bank. How could such a speck of a thing make such a huge racket? Asked the bear. You've woken up the entire forest, little frog, said Possum. Can you see the little frog? The little peeper looked up from the possum to the muskrat, to the catbirds, and finally to the bear. And then he puffed out his tiny throat. Look at him there. Rise and shine, he shouted. Shake a leg, build your nests and clean your burrows. It's spring, it's spring, it's spring. Bear stepped closer to the little frog. I, he growled, don't like to be awakened so early in the year, especially, he added, especially by a frog. Oh, But look at the beautiful spring flowers, cried the Peeper, and sniff the good spring smells. How could you want to sleep through such a glorious spring day? Well, the animals looked around at the budding trees, and they smelled the blooming flowers and felt the warm sun shining. They listened to the buzzing bees and the warbling birds. Legs stretched and bellies rumbled. And it was true, quite true. No one could deny that it was a fine thing indeed to be out and about on the first warm day of spring. There's nothing quite like a good walk in the spring morning, proclaimed Possum. Why don't you join us for breakfast, little Peeper? But the spring Peeper was already peeping again at the top of his lungs. Time for breakfast, toast and tea. The early bird gets the worm. Peep, peep, peep. Peep, peep, peep. And there they are, a couple of them fishing for their breakfast. Catbird's getting a little more straw for their nest. And Bear has his bandana around his neck, looks like he's just waiting for a fish to hop out into his mouth. Do you think that will happen? I don't know. Well, shall we do a finger play about some frogs? Can you show me your 5 fingers? Each one is going to be a frog. And if you put your arm out like this, your arm can be a log for those frogs to sit on. There were 5 green and speckled frogs who sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. Now one jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 green speckled frogs, glub, glub. Did you fold one down? 4 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs, glub, glub. 3 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 green speckled frogs, glub, glub. 2 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. Now one jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 green speckled frog, glub, glub. Can we sing this one fast? 1 green and speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs, yum, yum. Now he jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are no green speckled frogs. Okay. Well, Frog, I think we need another book. And this one is called Frog on a Log. This is written by Kes Gray and Jim Field. And it's published by Scholastic Press. And it actually, the title should be said, Frog on a Log? Because there's a question mark at the end. I think he's trying to figure out where he should belong. Hey, Frog, said the cat. Sit on the log, said the cat. But I don't want to sit on a log, said Frog. Logs are hard and uncomfortable, and they can give you splinters. I don't care, said the cat. You're a frog, so you must sit on a log. Well, can't I sit on a mat? asked the frog. Only cats sit on mats, said the cat. Well, what about a chair? asked the frog. I wouldn't mind sitting on a chair. Hares sit on chairs, said the cat. Well, perhaps I could sit on a stool, said the frog. Mules sit on stools, said the cat. I didn't know there were such rules, did you? Well, what about a sofa, said Frog. I could stretch right out on a sofa. Gophers sit on sofas, said the cat. It's very simple, really. Cats sit on mats, hares sit on chairs, mules sit on stools, gophers sit on sofas, and frogs sit on logs. Well, what do lions sit on? Asked the frog. Lions sit on irons, said the cat. Ouch, said the frog. What do parrots sit on? Parrots sit on carrots, said the cat. Lions sit on irons and parrots sit on carrots. That doesn't sound very comfortable, said the frog. Well, it's not about being comfortable, said the cat. It's about doing the right thing. Well, what do foxes sit on? Asked Frog. Foxes sit on boxes, said the cat. Foxes sit on boxes and fleas, I don't know if you can see that, fleas sit on peas. What do goats sit on? Goats sit on coats, said the cat. Goats sit on coats, cows sit on plows, and storks sit on forks. I think that's an ouch, don't you? What do gorillas sit on? Asked the frog. Gorillas sit on pillars, said the cat. Gorillas sit on pillars, rats sit on hats, weasels sit on easels, and moles sit on poles. What do seals sit on? Asked the frog. Oh, don't you know anything? Said the cat. Seals sit on wheels. Doves sit on gloves. Newts sit on flutes. Lizards sit on wizards. And apes sit on grapes. What about puffins? Asked the frog. Puffins sit on muffins, said the cat. Puffins sit on muffins, snakes sit on cakes, owls sit on towels, gibbons sit on ribbons, lambs sit on jams, and bees sit on keys. That's a very tiny one to see again. Well, I never knew that, said Frog. Well, you do now, said Cat. What do dogs sit on? Asked the frog. Oh, I was hoping you weren't going to ask that, said the cat. Can you guess? What do you think dogs might sit on? Perhaps frogs. Help! Silly. Well, instead of a finger play, we're going to have another book right away. But it's one that I hope you'll get up and move around to, because this is called The Croaky Pokey, and it's written by Ethan Long. And he does the pictures, and it's published by Holiday House. So you getting ready to do The Croaky Pokey? Hey everyone, let's do The Croaky Pokey. You put your right hand in. Can you do that? Do you know which one is your right hand? You put your right hand in, you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in, and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey and we chase a fly around, right in the froggy's mouth. Do you think he's gonna catch it? Whap! Did he catch the frog? You put your left hand in, you put your left hand out, you put your left hand in, and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey as we chase the fly around, right in the froggy's mouth. Whap! Did he catch it? Now we're going to need your right foot, okay? You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in, and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey as we chase the fly around, right in the froggy's mouth. Whap! Did he catch it? So put your left foot in and put your left foot out. You put your left foot in and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey as we chase the fly around, right in the froggy's mouth. Whap! Did he get it? No, he did not. You put your head in, you put your head out, you put your head in and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey as we chase a fly around, right in the froggy's mouth. Whap! Still didn't get it. Look, there's a bird trying to get it too. All right, now I'm probably just as glad I'm not being able to see you, because this time you're going to stand up and turn away from me because you're going to put your backside in. You put your backside in, you put your backside out, you put your backside in, and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey and you chase a fly around, right in the froggy's mouth. Whap! Boy, that's a long tongue, isn't it? Ooh. And as he's whapping, the croc is going snap. The bird is going snap. Turn back around. And this time you're going to jump your whole self towards me, okay? You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in, and you wave it all about. You hop the croaky pokey as we chase the fly around. Snap, snap, whap, 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 whap. Lots of tongues, lots of snapping, and that fly got away. Look at all those tongues. Who got the fly? Right in the fishy's mouth. Slurp. And you know what? That's what it's all about. Poor critters. Well, we're going to have a story now about a hoppy toad. In fact, this is a Hippy-Hoppy toad. It's written by Peggy Archer and Ann Wilsdorf, and it is published by Schwartz Wade Books. Peggy Archer is the author, and Ann Wilsdorf is the one who drew the pictures. I really like the pictures in this one too. And it's a rhyming story. In the middle of a puddle, in the middle of a road, on a teeter-totter twig sat a teeny tiny toad. Snap went the twig, up went the toad. And he landed on a tree by the side of the road. So on the raggy-shaggy tree by the side of the road, sat on a rough, gruff bark, sat a teeny tiny toad. Peck went the bird. Jump went the toad, and he tumbled to a flower in the park by the road. On a fuzzy yellow flower in the hush-rush breeze sat a teeny tiny toad in the shadow of the trees. Buzz went a bee, hop went the toad. And he jumped to the grass at the side of the road. In the slippy, sloppy grass where the toad sat still was a happy, snappy cricket with a sing-song trill. Chirp went the cricket. Tree went the toad, and he chased the chirpy cricket to the gravel down the road. In the stony, gritty gravel, in the shade by the road, in the calm, quiet morning, sat a hippy-hoppy toad. Woof went a dog. Puff went the toad. Then he hopped to the top of a stone by the road. On the fat, flat stone in the warm, still air lay a tough, scruff lizard with a sharp, steady stare. Slink went the lizard, blink went the toad, and he hip-hop-plopped to the dry, dusty road. Down the dry, dusty road where the toad crept along, under bunchy, crunchy leaves came an easy, breezy song. Whoosh went the wind, swoosh went the toad, and he flew to a leaf hanging close to the road. Round the flippy-floppy leaf came a whirlwind gust of a huff-puff wind with a cloud of dust. Bump went the shoe. Thump went the toad, and he landed on the sneaker as it ran down the road. Past the flippy-floppy leaf, down the dry and dusty road, round a round flat rock, through the crunchy bunchy leaves, through the stony gritty gravel, by the slippery sloppy grass, past the fuzzy yellow flower and the raggy taggy tree. He's gone all the way back, hasn't he? Went the bump thump sneaker with the teeny tiny toad hanging on for the ride as they raced down the road. The shoe went zag, the toad went zig, and he sailed through the air to a teeter-totter twig. In the middle of a puddle, in the middle of a road, on a teeter-totter twig, sat a teeny tiny toad. Now, did you notice that was a circle story? That he started off on that twig and went around and around and around until he came back to the twig. Fun. Well, I think we're going to get ready for the flannel board. So can you wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes? Wiggle your shoulders, and don't forget your nose. Can you wiggle your elbows and slap your knees and stretch your arms up? And then get ready, please, for the flannel board. Let me bring it up here. And let's see how I'm going to do this time. I think I'm going to turn my chair just a little bit, so we're just like that. So for this, we're going to need, let me set it down for just a second while I get it set up. We're going to need a well. And sitting on that well will be 1. Can you count with me? 2. 3, 4. I think I should have given myself a little more room over at the other ends. Let's scooch these guys over because we need to have room for 5. Okay. There we go. Well, 5 little froggies sat on a well. One looked up and then, whoops, down he fell. Froggy hopped high and Froggy hopped low, but Froggy couldn't hop back up. And so 4 little froggies were sitting in the well. One looked up and then, whoops, down he fell. Well, Froggy hopped high and Froggy hopped low, but Froggy couldn't hop back up. And so there were 3 little froggies sitting on a well. One looked up and then whoop, down he fell. Well, Froggy hopped high and Froggy hopped low, but Froggy couldn't hop back up. And so, how many do we have? Did you say 2? Yes. 2 little froggies were sitting on the well. One looked up and then down he fell. Froggy hopped high and Froggy hopped low, but Froggy couldn't hop back up. And so, there was one little froggy sitting on the well. He looked up and then down he fell. Froggy hopped high and Froggy hopped low, but Froggy couldn't hop back up, and so, well, that's as far as this rhyme will go. So those are our Froggy and Toad stories for today. We hope you enjoyed them. Hop outside and maybe you can hear some peepers. And we hope you'll join us again for Storytime Online here on YouTube. Thanks for watching.